Okay, we're going to be using DMC embroidery floss, and sometimes I use pearl cotton number 8 for geometrics, but since most people are going to be using embroidery floss, that's how I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull off about an 18-inch piece of embroidery floss, and then separate it into 3 strands. I like to get my finger between those and just slide my finger down, just like this, to separate. Once I've separated it, I run it between my index finger and my thumb to flatten it. And I usually go both ways. We're now ready to thread our needle. Okay, we're ready to begin smocking. Our very first row is going to be the cable stitch. Now we have pleated 16 rows, and the very top row is going to be called our holding row. We're not going to smock on that row. That is just is a guide row to help keep your pleats in line. So row 1 is actually row 2 that has been pleated. Now you're going to bring your needle up into the valley on row 1, and you can move in a couple pleats, and hopefully you can see this real good. Alright, you're going to come straight up into the valley. Alright, when I pull my pleats up, you can see that that is coming right up that valley. Alright, you're going to take your needle horizontal, and you're going to bite in just the top third of that pleat that is to the left. Alright, straight across and pull it all the way through. Now you're ready to start cabling your first row. Now the reason for coming up like that, like I asked you to do through the valley, is that it will leave your knot on top of a pleat in the back rather than falling into a valley. When you get too many knots falling into valleys, it's going to pucker out on the top side. So that's the reason for coming up through the valley. Alright, we're going to start our very first stitch with a down cable. Down cable, your thread is down, okay, and your needle is up. You're going to use that threaded line as your guideline. You're going to take your needle through horizontal. Don't go up this way. Don't tip back that way. Make sure it goes straight through horizontally in the very top third of that pleat. Threads down, needles up, and then just pull it through. Don't pull too taut. Alright, next stitch is an up cable. The thread is already up because it's coming out from the top of that down cable, so that tells you next stitch is an up cable. Needles down. You're going to go straight through horizontally, biting just the top third of that pleat. Pull it through. Now you have an up cable. Threads down, needles up, go straight through, and now you have your next down cable. You're going to continue working across this entire row in the same manner with a down and up cable sequence. Now, as you're going along, say you make a mistake, and I'm going to show you. Okay, we've done an up cable, and I'm not paying attention, and I accidentally do another up cable. Right, rather than unthreading your needle, if you catch it quick, you can do this. If you don't catch it with this stitch, you'll have to unthread the needle. But if you've caught it immediately, just tuck that needle up underneath that stitch, pull it through, and now that mistaked up cable has now just become a down cable. Alright, so you're just going to work continually all the way across this row, and the things that I really want you to focus on is making sure that your needle stays horizontal, following that guideline all the way across, and also making sure that you're just catching the top third of the pleat. You don't want to dig down to the valley, you don't want to dig down to where your guide thread is. You just want to eyeball that by picking up just the very top third of the pleat, and then just work your whole row across. That is your first homework, is to complete this entire row. If you have any questions, feel free to post them, and I or some of our other smockers will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Okay, I thought I would show you how to end. Say you've reached the end of your row, you've done your whole row of cable stitches, and you're on your very last pleat. Alright, on your last pleat, take your needle down through the side of that pleat, and pull it through the back. That's ending off. And I'll show you how I tie off. I wrap my needle around twice, and I pull this through, and then I take my needle and I set it right at the base of where that thread has come through, and then I just gently pull on this thread. Get this so you can see it better. And I let that knot just ride the needle right down to the base of the fabric. That gets you a knot that's right down there at the bottom. And then you can just pull it off and then just tie it off. That's all there is to it.